Well, it's Friday night, and just here, figured I'm not gonna draw or paint. I'm just gonna talk and doodle here about some things, like, you know, we are getting close to the wake up, and the wake up. And that's going to wake up the wise and the foolish. And shortly after that, there's a time period when the wise and the foolish both know that this time right here is coming, and they need to be ready. And the wise are the only ones that are ready already, while the foolish go and prepare. And so the foolish are not taken in what is the great exodus on one day. And they are gathered up, the woman given wings, and they're taken to a place on earth, not heaven, but Yahweh gathers them, while the foolish deal with the beasts and that system, the two bees, and because the beast will try and send a flood to destroy the wise, because they will be gathered to Israel. And they will have a hedge of protection. The two made one. They will be made one, and they will have a hedge of protection around them. The two witnesses will be there. No harm. The beast will not be able to harm those. Okay. The foolish, they will be hunted and killed by the two bees. And they reach, see, because the beast can't do anything, and ones from this go and they attack the beast, and a peace deal has to be done in 7 years will be done. The two witnesses will witness for 3.5 years, And then you have your 3.5 years of the greater trib. Okay? But at this point here is a major point. The beasts at this point betray the two witnesses. Are killed. And the vile things that the beast does to the temple that these ones here made during this first 3.5 years, when the woman is given wings and protected for that time. Okay? And then at this time, when the two witnesses are called up to heaven after 3.5 days, they're called up with these ones, like a number uncountable. And at that time, when the two witnesses with the 144 at this point, the last time, sealed for the final. So they're protected. And at this time, when the greater trib is over, Yeshua Jesus returns thousand years. This is where we're at soon. Right here. Then we'll have an unknown time. Could be months, could be weeks. But it is an unknown time, but it comes suddenly when the foolish are just about reaching their preparedness. And this could be, depending on, because it wakes up both. And right here is going to be a time in which those who love Yahavah should be finding haven before this time here outside of Israel. Because for the purpose of judgment upon those in the land, for judgment, the 7 years starts in the house of Yahavah first. And all in the land die. And then Gog is destroyed by Yahweh. At this point, right there. That day is even told. It is a day of cloud and darkness. And it is the day in which this Gog army, an unstoppable army that only Yahweh will be able to kill. It will be an army unlike any, and it only returns. The devil will be freed at the end of 1,000, and he will trick them to use whatever Gog is tricked to use, to transform those people into ones that can't even be killed with bullets and stuff. They will be quite different, and he will use it again at the end. But it will show up to bring judgment on Israel, on those in the land, mostly those ones that have done vile things in the desire to bring the end of days, and that believe that through sin they are doing the will of Yahweh. They are blind and are tricked in their own ignorance. But they like their vileness and they desire it. But the wise, the woman, given wings after all those in Israel are gone, will be taken on that day by Yahweh's hand, the day of cloud and darkness. And he will take them to Israel. He will protect them. They will be blessed. They will have the Spirit of Yahweh poured out fully on them. They will be made one. And they will be a people unto Yahweh, and he will be a God unto them. And at that time the foolish, because the consequences of their abominations are upon their head, for they loved those vile things more than they loved Yahweh. And that is what divides the foolish and the wise. Did they love Yahweh? Did they love who he loved? The least of these, our brethren. When the two witnesses show up, I believe it'll be either somewhere in here during the wake up, after the wake up, and some new earth. Lion. Yeah. This would be considered mid-trib rapture. And the first one, rapture, right here. This called up with the two witnesses to the throne, a number uncountable is there. This would be considered pre-trib, but it is not as people assume. This is as how Yahweh says to the prophets in the Old Testament and also in Revelation about the woman given wings and protected for 3.5 years. It also describes how the beasts will send the serpent, will send the flood. God will stop it, and they will be protected and changed. The beast kingdom, the Antichrist, it'll be a time of 3.5 years that the world will be amazed. They'll probably show up in their, what they call spacecrafts and stuff. But they're just crafts from Noah's time. But they dumb down the people so that it all... my doodle. So, we are here someplace. Of events. I think the one major road sign before this event is where it mentions that God goes after a place that has no walls, nothing, at peace, the whole thing. I believe that is a road sign of just before this war. And that is them attacking another place. And I believe the one that they speak of, which would shock the world and would be a grab for resources, would be them attacking Canada. So when Canada is attacked, I will be before here. Somewhere, it could be before the wake up, but it is before Gog goes after. And Gog will be pushed. Remember, Gog has hooks. So it's dragged to war. Okay, it's dragged to war. And I believe they will attack, play all this out to make the world believe it. Russia attacked first, but it was a play to get that someone to attack Russia to then nuke either Moscow or something, so that it drives Gog crazy with revenge to the point that they would use the thing that will transform their military into these beings that can't be stopped but by Yahweh. So, somewhere here. It's a little... So, I don't know. Bird flu. War. Somewhere. How long this point is here could be months, weeks. Just like here. An unknown time. This could be from now to Sukkot. Like, this could be just months. This could be this year. This could be 2 years. But when this point here, when Israel is attacked by then. Let's get another color here. Alright. We reach this point. It is 7 years then. 7 years until the return of the Messiah for the 1,000 years. It is 7 years. It's divided by the first 3.5 by the 2 witnesses, and also the woman protected during that time while the foolish are hunted. And then you have the last greater trib right here on the final 3.5 with the 144 sealed, which I believe are the children of the wise that are without any lie and virgins, and basically picked by Yahovah and sealed as witnesses and to watch over the temple, which was built by the 2 made one. So when Yeshua returns, he shall use what the bride has prepared for him, as he has went and prepared a place for the bride. And so this is the factor here of 7 years. 7 years, okay. Then the 1,000. But we're here. Very close to right here, to where the wise are going to head off to an amazing time where they're going to Israel to be transformed and have the Spirit of Yahovah poured out fully upon them. So, I know people, they say that all in the land of Israel are not going to die. That God, Yahovah, is going to destroy the Gog army before it does anything. This isn't what Yahovah said. Zephaniah, Ezekiel, Joel, Joel. He speaks of why judgment falls. He speaks of what will happen. And he speaks that he will not forsake the land. And he will gather his scattered. And he will make them one for his namesake and for his glory. But judgment will fall upon the house of Yahovah first. And there are those in the land that desire and bring blood to the land, believing that their 7th Messiah and different things is going to show up. And so they have led the world in very dark things for their desire. So, judgment will fall. The land, you read Zephaniah, and I have the video there in the scriptures. I'm going to read another one. Hosea, it's a repeat of what Yahovah has been sharing. And yet, because of the man-made ways of the rabbinic, of the preachers, of the popes, and that, people have not seen that as for themselves, and they basically mentally block it out as if it belongs to someone else. But Yahavah will do this for his wise. The woman given wings and protect it for 3.5 years. The time limit when the two witnesses are going out and witnessing, and then when they're called up, when Yahavah calls up the two witnesses, after the world has celebrated that they have killed them and think they're special, then all are called up with the two witnesses in a great calling to the throne room in heaven. And then we'll return after the world has went through 3.5 years. And they will return with Yeshua, and the world will see amazing things. But the wise, they will see amazing time too. This is when the dragon's released, and then an unknown time again of his deception, and then the end. So, the wake up is coming soon. The 144 will be sealed for this time, the 3.5 year greater trip. Okay. All the rest will be gone by that time. But at this time, the first 3.5 years, the foolish are left behind and the wise are taken in that time of the greater exodus. It's all just there. But watch for this. I believe this. I could be wrong. It could be another country, but the way the old Canuckers are pushing the bear's buttons, I can see the bear next door to it just going and saying, "That's mine. What are you gonna do about it? You know, come at me with your canoe?" So, yeah. And if they have planted avian under the thing and then push war with China and that against, having everything wrapped up in the Pacific. So, but something happens that sends Gog after Israel, and I believe it's because the 1666 cult will be found out for doing a lot of things that they shouldn't have done and played the world, and why so many desired to go and destroy those in Israel for what the leadership did. So this is a diagram thing of it. So, but yeah, we're right here, soon here. Then when we reach here, wake up, and you'll know that you woke up. We're almost here. And if you're wise, you're heading to an amazing time with Yahavah. Those that are gathered, you can read about it, you can hear it in where I wrote. You're heading to an amazing time. So, in my opinion, there will be a hedge of fire around those in Israel, and only certain ones would be able to come in, only at the will of those there. So, after the Gog and Magog war, Israel's quite changed. And those there, the two gathered, made one. They live off the 7-year supply of fuel that these ones used and were using. And so for the first 7, 3.5, and then the last 3.5, it'll be for the sealed ones. First, for the ones made 1. So, just to share where we're at. So, thanks for watching. And take it easy. Love Batman. Talk to you later.